Okay, so have dinner or something. Go over it.
Marcus.
What?
Come on. Just dinner? Okay. Hey, Marcus. Why don't you come here for a second?
I'm not playing. My key reality's not working.
Please?
Welcome to the Dark Times channel, and in this particular video I'm going to be talking about the dynamic of the man and the woman in the workplace or working relationship. So just recently it came out that TJ Holmes and his co-host Amy Robach were involved in a romantic relationship, and this romance or workplace relationship had been going on for quite some time according to people around them. And just looking at the optics of it, it doesn't really even seem like they were trying to hide it. It almost seems like they got tired of dating in secret and they wanted to go ahead and make it public. It almost looks like they had a professional photographer follow them around for a weekend and take professional photos for the tabloids. Because you really never know when it comes to Hollywood. I wouldn't be surprised in the least if that was the case. And both TJ Holmes and Amy Robach were somebody that were married and in a relationship with children. And so Entertainment Tonight just ran a story about this, and I'm gonna go ahead and let the clip play and then I'll come back and chime in.
Following the reports, a source tells ET the romance has been going on in secret for quite some time.
We will spare you, America. All right.
Still, it's not known when these two went from colleagues to something more. Though the Mail reports the turn happened in June when the pair were in the UK together to cover the Queen's Platinum Jubilee. Source also notes Amy and TJ have kept it professional on set, even when the vibes are fun and sometimes flirty.
It's Friday Eve.
Oh, who's looking forward to the weekend?
Me?
Yeah?
Yes.
I bet TJ was looking forward to the weekend. I bet he was. And from what I hear, TJ's wife, or his estranged wife now, she actually works for Jay-Z as an executive. So that's a whole nother dynamic as well. You know, having a spouse that travels and probably works just as much as you do, if not more, that's not going to leave a lot of time for that relationship to be nurtured the way it needs to be. Usually when these people meet or come together within Hollywood, both parties have already established their careers and they're kind of set in where they want to be and where they're trying to go. And so neither party is going to be wanting to give that up. When you're working in the entertainment industry, and not just the entertainment industry, even an office job or whatever the case may be, the majority of people, especially in today's world, are going to be dressed to kill when they come to work. Like I said, that goes for corporate America as well as the entertainment industry, especially the entertainment industry. When you're on television, you're definitely going to be looking your best. Hair, nails, wardrobe, everything is going to be tip top. And so it's a little unrealistic and short-sighted for two people to be working together closely, two attractive people to be working together closely and not start to have romantic feelings about one another. I would say it's immature thinking in today's society to think that that's not going to happen at some point. And then to top it off, when these people actually do go home to their spouse, 9 times out of 10 their schedules are going to conflict. And most likely their spouse will not be there. And if they are there, they're only going to see each other for so long. And then you throw kids in the mix. That time that you would normally spend with your spouse when you don't have children, all that time is going to be spent with your kids. And then on top of that, you still have work stuff to deal with even when you're at home. So virtually what you're talking about is two people just sleeping in the same bed together after a while. And after a while, that relationship is definitely going to lose its luster because it hasn't been nurtured in the proper way that a relationship needs to be nurtured. And then the other dynamic is that these individuals are also seeing their spouse at their worst. I'm not going to say at their worst, but you know, they're relaxed. They're at home. They're going to be letting their hair down, both figuratively and literally. They're going to be letting their hair down and they're going to be relaxed. And it's going to be hard to compete with a work husband or a work wife when every day they're coming to work suited and booted and dressed to kill. And then they're also not dealing with the level of negativity that can come from a household. You know, just the average couple is going to struggle with not bickering and the whole back and forth, just about little things that couples will get into from time to time. In the workplace, you're typically not going to get that. Everybody's typically going to be on their best behavior. They're going to keep it on the level. They're going to be getting nothing but pleasantries from their work wife and their work husband. So the whole idea that two attractive individuals that share some level of attraction to one another are going to be able to maintain this monogamous relationship is a fantasy. Not to say that it can't happen, because it does happen, but I think it's almost the exception to the rule. A lot of times women have this bad habit of withholding the things they think their man enjoys in order to try to get something in return. You may have a woman at home that is unhappy that her man is not taking her out anymore, that they don't go out to eat, or they don't go to the movies, or they don't travel together like they used to. And so what she'll do is she'll withhold sex from him, or she'll withhold BJs from him. I'm not giving nothing up. And most men aren't going to leave their wives over that. But at the same time, they're not going to wait around to try to figure out what it is their wives want in return. And a lot of times I think it's probably on a subconscious level. So they're not going to be in any position to actually verbalize what it is they actually want. They're going to be acting out of emotion. I'm going to do something to him because he's not doing something for me. But the only problem with that is he's going into work with a woman who's suited and booted every day, dressed to kill, makeup's on point, laughs at everything he says. That's who he's going to work to. And vice versa when it comes to a female going into work. She's going into work with everybody staring at her. She's got all the attention. Everything's on point. All the guys telling her how beautiful she is, how funny she is. You know, she gets to hear all these things. But when she goes home, obviously, she's the wife. She's the mom. She's the old lady. So I think it puts most marriages in an impossible situation when one of the people, if not both of the people within the marriage, has to work very closely with an attractive person of the opposite sex. I think a marriage in a situation like that is doomed from the start. Most marriages today are ending in divorce, but especially if they have that dynamic, there's always going to be an element of temptation, a huge element of temptation. I do know that TJ's wife is employed by Rock Nation, and she's an executive over there. And who's to say she hasn't stepped out on him, or he doesn't suspect her? And the same thing goes for Amy Robach. I believe her husband is an actor, or he was an actor within Hollywood. I believe he played on Melrose Place. Who's to say he didn't step out on her? You know, a lot of people will just stay in the relationship or stay within the marriage and just proceed to do what they do. Go ahead and get their cheat on as well. And so when it comes down to it, I think it's best that men and women not work closely together, especially if both people are attracted to one another or both individuals are attractive. I believe it's okay for a period of time for two people from the opposite sex and that are attractive to work together on some level. But when you're working every day or 5 days out of the week closely with somebody, traveling with somebody, eventually it's going to lead to the inevitable. And so that's all I had on this one. And if you're not subscribed to the channel yet, please go ahead and do so. And I'll catch you guys next time. And as usual, peace and chaos.